Rundown, December 15th, Tuesday. Nate is in. We are going to be rotating our cast of characters till Kevin has, I don't know what he's doing. I think Mike Francesca summed it up pretty accurately. I don't know what guys do after the first 24 hours. So Nate, welcome. Big opportunity for you. I hope you hot take Nate. So let's get that going. Let's start Cleveland. This guy, you can't not like this video.
I let the dogs out. I let the dogs out. I let the dogs out.
This is after the Browns won, supposedly. We don't know. Is that a fact that this is when this was filmed, or are we just going to assume that's fact? Whatever the case may be, he's running around to Who Let the Dogs Out with his dick in some sort of pouch, yelling as they do the who, like, who let the dogs out, who. He does the who part. I don't know what you can add to it, Big Cat. I mean, it's a great video.
The only thing I want to know is, did he watch the entire game in, like, the pouch, half naked? But at the same time, like I said, 3 wins on the season. That's a big win. Johnny Manziel, maybe a little hope. He'll probably break their hearts again next year. Time to run around the street. And I think he actually said, I let the dogs out at some point, which kind of takes it over the top. That guy, he is the keeper to the doghouse.
Nate?
Yeah, Cleveland is the only place that Who Lets the Dog Out still gets the people going. Like, people were probably looking at him like, oh, that song is legit right now, and probably threw their own pants out and joined him in the bar because, as Big Cat said, 3 wins in Cleveland. That's pretty much their Super Bowl last week. So good for him, having a time of his life.
When I first watched it, I wasn't 100% sure whether the song was actually playing or whether he was just doing it his own. It made it 1,000 times better that the song was actually
playing.
Also, I don't know if you saw back to yesterday, the Conor McGregor Irish thing. I don't know if you saw the video of a bunch of Irish people doing Whoop, There It Is. And that was, like, we need to bring back some of those classics that those should never be out of, like, the party after a big victory, scene. They were just all going, whoop, there it is.
Yeah,
Whoop, there it is.
What do you got? If you're part of the McGregor crowd or you're running around, what song are you going with? That's actually that may be the hardest question I've ever asked. Is it Whoop, There It Is, or Who Let the Dogs Out?
I think you got to go Whoop, There It Is if you're with, like, a huge crowd. The Who Let the Dogs Out is a great song. Like, if you just put on Who Let the Dogs Out as a solo act, you can get the crowd going. Whoop, There It Is like everyone together.
I don't know, though. Who Let the Dogs Out? Who? That's...
Yeah.
I feel like Aristotle would, like, melt if he was asked this question. Nate, you going to throw it?
I would say, Who Let the Dogs Out, you have, like, 2 different sections coming together. So, like, Group 1 goes Who Let the Dogs Out, and then Group 2 has the who. So it's more conjoining in a big group.
Yeah, but everybody also knows the tag team back again. That part's, like, electric.
And also, when the Baja men start rapping, it kind of, like...
Yeah, you just have to, like, do that weird dance.
You need, like, a Jamaican dude to get on the steel drums.
ISIS, Michael Scott. ISIS, so this is a tough break for this guy. Where is this, a Texas guy?
Yeah, by the way, this isn't... The story's a year old, but today he sued. So today he sued for $1 million.
Got it.
So the question I said was, how much money would you take to have your name and number associated with ISIS in an accident?
Right. And just to clarify the story for everybody who may not have seen it. So a guy sold his used truck. What was he, a plumber?
Yeah, plumber.
Plumber. It's like Mark's Plumbing. He sold his truck. His truck got sold a couple times. Long story short, ended up in ISIS's hands, and they're making videos, ISIS, with, like, murdering people driving down the streets of Baghdad, and they're, like, blowing people up with Mark's Plumbing all over it. So he's suing for $1 million. He also says, to clarify, which, Dan, I thought was a salient point, he said he was taking the stickers off, and the guy's like, no, it'll ruin the paint. We'll take it off for you.
Can't trust him.
No, I thought your analogy was, like, once you hand something over,
it's over.
Yeah, it's over. I would take the $1 million. Like, I gotta believe ISIS is gonna end up with a truck with or without me, and it stinks that my name's on it, but I'm not killing anybody. And if ISIS, you know what, I might as well get my hands in on this money.
But you are the ISIS guy forever. You're Dave the ISIS guy.
Yeah.
If this happens. I said $2 million, so we're not that far off.
But it's like Mark's Plumbing. Like there's got to be a lot of that's
but
not my
number was attached to it. His
what?
number too.
Yeah, you change your number. I'd rather have people calling thinking I'm ISIS than just stoolies having my cell phone number. So like I've been through, it's not that bad. And that's Mark down the road. You have $1 million ISIS money. Nate,
it's one of those not such thing as bad publicity things to a point where if he spun it the right way, he could do the whole GoFundMe act and say that like his reputation, he's so sad, his business is in shambles because of ISIS, and he'll get all the GoFundMe money. I don't know why he's suing instead of just playing the victim card here and saying that he never intended to help ISIS, and people will be throwing him cash.
Nate, dead serious, man to man, how much money do you think that GoFundMe would raise?
The gay pizza place raised like $2 million.
I'm asking you how much?
Probably 100K or so.
Wrong, way too high. There's no proof of that, but I don't.
The difference, Nate, is if you throw in gays, if you throw in bullying, if you throw in a woman getting bullied, a black person, any kind of like minority, if you're just talking about a white plumber from Texas, people don't get going on the GoFundMe for that.
And it's like the cause being like, oh, I got confused with ISIS. I don't know. Quick side note: the internet has been horrific all day. We've had people in here. I was on the phone complaining. Feidelberg's crying like a girl down there.
In his defense, we are an internet company.
We are an internet company, and nobody, but it's like everyone just looks up into here, and it's like, well, have we shut off the router and restarted it? We can tether it. Lewis says he can't afford whatever. There's a lot of things. Don't get me sidetracked. My point to this is somehow the rundown has been dead perfect, and Dylan is doing it today.
I was not joking. I asked Hank after the rundown if he like has to have some kind of metal in his body or something that fucks up. Like you said, you had the great analogy. Like he's like a fisherman, like a bad luck. When you're on a fishing boat, you have bad luck. You just got to throw someone overboard.
There's a movie in that, and then it becomes sunny once they throw He knew he was the Jonah. They throw him overboard, and it becomes sunny. I like Hank. I hope he's not our Jonah, but there's no excuse for how this rundown is running perfectly when we've had basically no internet all day. If Hank was up here, I guarantee you it's not working. I don't know when you officially have to throw him overboard, and I don't remember the movie. I can't believe people haven't told me what movie it is. The Jonah actually sacrifices himself. He's like, okay, I've tried everything. It's me. Hank hasn't come up and been like, I'm out.
He's not a team player.
Not yet he hasn't been. Luke Petigout. So I thought he was still in the league. Shows you how long has Luke Petigout been out of the league?
I thought he was too.
Yeah. But he's out. Anyway, so his wife is on Adult Friend Finder and meets a guy, and they've been sexting and naked pictures. They go out for the first time. They meet. Luke Petigout shows up and supposedly sucker punches the guy in the face. The thought on this story is this has to be something that wife and Luke Petigout do. This is their kinky thing. Like, you set this up, and then I'm just going to show up and punch the guy, and then they go home and have wild sex. Like, Luke Petigout came in and saved the day. How can he show up on date one and know this is happening unless it's part of this kinky thing they do? Nate, what's your experience with Adult Friend Finder?
I've never been on the Adult Friend Finder, Dave. None. What about you?
Big Cat, you got anything on this?
The only thing I was going to say about this story was Clem nailed it. She looks like a porn star. If you marry a chick that looks like a porn star, she's going to do this kind of shit. That's just, you put it in that category.
Do you think he was in on it, what I just said?
I think there's an element, you don't watch Always Sunny, Dave, but the dentist when he gets off, I think the minute Luke hit him, he was coming in his pants. and the chick was like wet, so wet.
Nate, what's your take on this?
I didn't think at first that he was in on it. I just thought that he just has all the concussion problems, like what Clem said, and then she just wanted to go get some strange. But I was confused why they went out on a date, because I just assumed adult friend finder, you fuck, you get out of there. I don't know why she was being wined and dined and even allowed like the punch to happen. You have to be locked in your apartment and then gone as soon as you're done.
And this, I don't have an answer for this. I didn't think so. But Nate, you may have just brought, do girls call guys strange? I've never heard that in that. Like, obviously guys always call girls like strange. I've never heard the girl trying to get strange.
What do they get? Just get some dick?
Yeah, Nate.
They get a lot. Can I just say one more point on this story? Hardbod, the nickname, the username Hardbod.
Yes.
That's like getting a tattoo. You now, like when you get a tattoo on your arm, you have to do curls for the rest of your life because you can't let it sag. If you put your fucking username as Hardbod on Friend Finder, on Adult Friend Finder, or whatever, you just pigeon your whole life.
And I think it was like Hardbod 732 because there's 731 Hardbods. It's like getting a barbed wire tattoo. I thought you were going that. It's just the most common.
No,
like,
I mean, like, he wakes up in the morning and he's like, I'm feeling kind of tired. I don't want to go to the gym. Oh, wait, but I'm Hardbod 718 on Adult Friend Finder. And if I show up with a little flab, like, people are like, get out of here, Hardbod.
Dan, there's been a lot of talk about how fat you are since the Detroit videos. I'm not one of those guys, but I've heard a lot thrown around. I'm not going to say that. But if you have, like, a Hardbod tattoo, you're a comedian. I think that's actually endearing. So you could get away with a hard bod, like, oh, look at the fat guy with the hard bod. He knows. But you can't be caught in the middle. Like,
there's like 50 pounds of middle ground that I've now surpassed.
Right.
So I would, like, you're either, if I'm 50 pounds lighter, I can be a hard bod. If I'm in that middle ground, it's just weird because it's like, no, you're not. And now that I'm let myself, whatever. It was a bad shirt. Hard bod could come back.
Commercial break. And we're back, and we are still having a perfect rundown. Great job, Dylan. Star Wars.
Spitting in the face of the rundown gods. I love it. Because you know Hank's not around.
Star Wars, this is... I asked earlier, outside of you, Nate, who you say you're not a Star Wars guy, we had that conversation.
Nope.
Can you do me a favor, though, for this one? Can you take your hat off and put your hood on, and then let the stoolies decide whether you're a Star Wars guy? Okay.
So now
you look like you're the bad guy, the wizard in what's the emperor in Star Wars. So you say you're not a Star Wars guy. I say you are. Semantics, not important. Do we not have a Star Wars guy in this entire company? I'm dying to be a Star Wars guy. This thing looks awesome. Like, I saw yesterday, they blocked off L.A. for 3 blocks or something. And for the Oscars, they do 1. That's how big it is. And people are freaking out. They're showing up in costume. Ewoks, the works. I sat down and I thought there's nothing in my life I look forward to that's planned. Like, obviously, the Super Bowl is kind of planned, but not really. You know what I mean? But that comes out that I look forward to as much as Star Wars people. So, Nate, we'll start with you. I know you're excited for it.
My dad showed us the movies when we were young, and they did nothing for me. I've seen the episode 1 of the new ones and not the ones after that. Just not I like weird shit. I'm with you there. If I was you, I would think that I was a Star Wars guy. So I'm with you there. But it just does nothing for me. Like, it's just not my joint.
That was some serious self-reflection there, Nate.
No, well, I understand how someone could say I'm a Star Wars guy, so it could be mind-blowing that I'm not. I get it.
And not to do a callback, but that was such a hard no on Adult Friend Finder. Don't rule that out. I'm serious.
I know you are.
I'm not a Star Wars guy. I've never seen any of the Star Wars movies start to finish.
Never?
No. I'm not like a sci-fi guy. And to be honest, I just pretend it doesn't even exist. So I know kind of what you're saying, Dave, but whenever I see something, because I don't know, like, all I know is that Darth Vader is Luke's father. That's it.
And he's
Spoiler
a
alert.
badass.
Sorry
Yeah.
for that.
Yeah.
But that's it. That's the only thing I know. So everything else, I'm just like, it all just washes over me. It'd be like looking at the rules of rugby or something. You know what I mean? I would have no idea what's going on.
Interesting. Last one, Chuck Pagano. So he's on his way out. Patriots murdered the Colts. They murdered the Ravens. They murdered everybody. But Chuck Pagano had a quote that said, essentially, they may be able to fire me, but they can't eat me. Now, whether it's kind of being facetious, not really sure. Big Cat, you blogged this as well. What do you got on Pagano refusing to be eaten?
Like I said, that doesn't just come out of nowhere. I've never felt the threat that you would eat me or eat any part of my body. I seriously do. And I know people are going to say, like, this is too crazy. I think Jim Irsay walks around the Colt facility every now and then and just like, I've eaten a person. Like, just kind of weird shit. Jerry Jones is the same. It's a king's thing to, like, eat one of your employees to intimidate all your other employees.
Nate?
Yeah, when you blogged it, I immediately started wondering if Dan Snyder had it in him to eat someone. And then you said he doesn't have the guts to eat someone. And then I agreed for a second. And then he's just such a swarmy guy that I thought maybe he would, like, eat a finger, just something like that. But I think I'm back on your side that he's not a eating person type guy.
No.
Right,
he just doesn't have the guts. Who would you eat, Dave, at Barstool to intimidate everyone else?
Probably Hank.
It wouldn't be Hank. You'd miss Hank too much.
I wouldn't miss Hank.
You'd miss Hank.
You're just
like
playing
a
in on the company joke there. I'd probably eat Hank.
God, Hank.
When do you think KFC comes back?
Did you see his baby is, like, viral on Reddit now?
Yeah. You know what I also saw? The actual science that babies can't smile when they're that young. And, like, KFC probably, like, did something to make that baby.
You're a
By the way, can I just...
There.
Not to agree with you, Dave, because it makes my stomach turn when I do. But come on, Kevin. Like, maybe a watermark of Barstool Sports on that picture that went viral. Like, that one.
It's just interesting that he has a lot of time to be on Reddit and Twitter and social media, but
that actually is such a ballsy move when he tweets, like, right in our face.
I mean, he's doing a lot of activities that one may be able to construe as borderline blogging, just not for us. It's for his own personal enjoyment. So I find that interesting. The Francesa stuff was perfect. Francesa, who's like his idol, basically was like, I just don't get what people do. I had my kid at 9 o'clock. I was at work at 1 o'clock. I don't know what people did. We have the baby. The baby went to the nursery. My wife went to sleep, and I went to work. That's what men do. So
what is the day, like, when do you actually become not angry, but, you're like, this is bullshit? Or was that yesterday?
No, I mean, I would put past that guy to, like, be doing, like, side jobs right now, like to be doing, like, freelance work for, like, other sites.
Have you noticed the Seventh Line crew's been churning out some blogs?
Yeah. So, last thing here. What do you guys think on my cologne? Do you guys wear cologne?
No.
I actually wanted to talk to you about this. I agreed with what you said. There's, like, a gap. You wear cologne as, like, a young, like, kid hitting puberty, and you're awkward and shit, and you think it's cool, and then it's lame for a long time. There's definitely, like, an old boss smell that, like, I don't know what it is, and I've been trying to capture it myself. I don't know if it's cologne, though.
I think it may be cologne.
I feel like every time
and I feel like it's under the radar. Like, not many people older, it's just like they slide back into cologne, and you don't even know they did it.
It's a really distinct smell that it's almost like a barbershop, like baby powder, kind of like fresh smell that doesn't feel like cologne, but it is. That's how good it is.
Yeah.
It's like the cologne that's so good that you don't know it's cologne.
Right.
So I agree with you there. I think that I've been searching for that as well for a couple of years, silently, haven't been able to find it. Obviously, if you find it first, I'm fucked, because you can't wear the same smell.
No, and that's like, I'm getting a lot of people saying the same colognes over. If more than two people say the cologne, that's not the cologne for me, because it's out there. You need, like, a cologne that people aren't really. It's a very tricky thing.
you know that like new haircut smell? I feel like my boss in my old days used to have this smell, like where he would just come in and it would just kind of like whisk the whole room. But it wasn't overpowering. You'd just be like, oh, that's refreshing. It almost like perked you up. That's what you need. I can't explain it, but I agreed with what you said.
Yeah. Anything else? No, we good? All right. See ya.
Later.